December 12, 1910, a young woman said goodbye to a friend on Fifth Avenue, walked into the crowd, and was never seen again. No body, no note, no trace. Not then, not ever. Her name was Dorothy Arnold. 25 years old, wealthy, educated, the daughter of a well-known New York family. She wasn't running from anyone. She had no reason to disappear. And yet, on one ordinary afternoon, in one of the busiest cities on Earth, she walked out of her own life completely. This is one of the oldest unsolved disappearances in American history. And more than a century later, we still don't know what happened to her. But here's what makes this case different from almost every other cold case you've heard about. The family had the money, the connections, and the motive to find her. And they may have actively made it harder for anyone else to. Dorothy left her family's apartment that morning to buy a dress for her sister's debutante ball. She stopped at a bookstore. She ran into a friend on Fifth Avenue around 2 p.m, mentioned she planned to walk through Central Park before heading home. Then she kept walking and vanished into the crowd. Her family didn't report her missing to police for nearly 6 weeks. When reporters eventually found out, the story became a national sensation, and the family's silence became its own mystery. The bookstore clerk who served her that morning later told police she seemed calm, even cheerful. She'd purchased a novel and mentioned she'd read it that evening. It was the last ordinary detail anyone would ever confirm about her day. Central Park itself was searched inch by inch in the days that followed, the lake dragged, the wooded paths combed by volunteers and reporters alike. Nothing. Not a scarf, not a shoe, not a single trace that she had ever walked through it at all. Here's where it gets stranger. The Arnolds hired private detectives instead of contacting police. They allegedly paid to keep the story out of newspapers for over a month. And when investigators later searched the family's country estate, staff reported that a section of freshly disturbed earth in the yard had already been paved over by the time anyone thought to check it. The family's own coachman later testified he'd been ordered to avoid certain routes near the estate for several days that winter, an order he found strange enough to remember years afterward. 2 private investigators hired by the Arnolds reportedly quit the case within weeks, citing the family's refusal to share information the detectives said they needed. One of them later told a newspaper, off the record, that he suspected the family already knew more than they were telling police. 3 theories dominate the case to this day. The first, she had a secret relationship the family wanted hidden and ran away to avoid scandal. The second, she died from a botched, illegal medical procedure, common and often fatal in 1910, and her family covered it up to protect the family name. The third and darkest, something happened to her that the family knew about and never wanted made public. No conclusive evidence has ever confirmed any of them. Her case remains officially open with the NYPD, one of the longest-running missing persons cases in the department's history. Amateur investigators have revisited the case for over a century, and new theories have emerged with each generation. From a staged disappearance funded by a wealthy admirer, to a fall into the Hudson River that was never reported to avoid scandal. Forensic historians who've studied the case note that 1910 New York offered dozens of ways for a young woman to vanish without a trace, long before fingerprint databases or missing persons networks existed. What makes the Dorothy Arnold case different from a modern disappearance isn't the mystery itself, it's what surrounded it. No security cameras, no cell phone records, no digital trail. Just one woman, one afternoon, and a family with enough power to shape the story before the public ever heard it. Next week, we go to sea, to a ship found drifting, fully intact, with not a single person aboard. No struggle, no damage, no answer for over 150 years. If you want more cases like this, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next investigation. What do you think really happened to Dorothy Arnold? Leave your theory below.